Quick hits. This is a part of the show that we've added recently. These are three things that you're probably seeing in the news right now. Wanted to just comment on them very briefly. U.S. election drama. I'm pretty sure everybody has heard or saw the debate between former President Trump and current President Biden, and all that came out of that. Did that affect the stock markets? Well, I'll talk a bit about that very briefly. Canadian dollar. Some of you may notice that Canadian dollar is actually nudging higher. Why is that happening? And last but not least, experts are starting to debate whether all this spending on AI is giving them a return on their investment, or are they going to have to wait quite a while? So some are starting to, question all this AI spending. So let's touch on the first one. The U.S. election, upcoming election in November, very, very important for everybody, even though we live here in Canada, very important for Canadians, because depending on who wins, they're going to, looks like, implement perhaps some new taxes, or in the case of former President Trump, maybe cut taxes. There could be some tariffs put on goods coming into the United States. So all the controversy based on the recent debate, all the talk coming out of that, Democrats, perhaps some of them wanting President Biden to step down and not run in the next election. But he looks like he's going to run, and he has all intentions to run, but we'll have to see what happens. Markets probably not fluctuating an awful lot, although I will say that all this talk about the former President Trump winning the next election based on the outcome of the current or the most recent debate and other polls that have been taken. Market actually likes that, because anytime you cut taxes, which is what former President Trump is saying they're going to do, reduce the red tape, that only can help the stock market. So I would say the debate, all the talk we've heard recently about President Biden and his re-election ambitions, not having too much of an effect on the stock market, but definitely we're going to keep track of that. Canadian dollar nudging up a little bit. That's the second. And I think my comment there pretty much is it's based on what's going on with the US dollar. So it sounds like the Fed may cut rates more than once this year, and maybe as early as September, as I said earlier on the show. Probably a coin toss whether they do it or not. However, if they were to cut rates, you probably would see a surge in our dollar. And if they don't cut rates, you probably see our dollar pull back and the US dollar move higher. So I think what the Fed does and says, it probably has more effect on the Canadian dollar than what the Bank of Canada does. Although I will say, if the Bank of Canada cuts a couple of more times before the Fed does, you will definitely see our dollar fall back towards that 71-cent range. We actually have a quick chart on that we could show on the spot price of our dollar. There it is, 73 cents approximately. And you can see how much our dollar has gone down. Although if you look at the far right-hand side of the chart, you would see our dollar definitely has been nudging higher. Our last quick hit point that I wanted to make is regarding artificial intelligence. What is the actual rate of return on artificial intelligence spending? What's the return on investment? Are companies actually seeing a return on investment for all this spending? I'm going to probably say the answer is probably not. I'm sure they're getting a lot of returns from their artificial intelligence spending. I'm sure it is making their businesses a lot more efficient. But I have to say that maybe a year from now, I am confident to say that they're going to experience a much higher rate of return from artificial intelligence spending, or their ROI is going to be much better a year from now, a couple of years from now. I truly believe that we are only in the early innings, using the baseball analogy, of artificial intelligence and the implementation of artificial intelligence in all businesses, right across all sectors of the economy. So if you're looking at, ROI, return on investment with respect to artificial intelligence, and if you were to kind of be a little bit negative on artificial intelligence because of that, I think that's a mistake. I think you have to look at it to the future as artificial intelligence being that one thing to change the way we live, to change the way we do business, to change our lives as a whole. So don't necessarily get boggled down on the ROI regarding artificial intelligence. If you hear people speaking about it, I would take it with a grain of salt, knowing that artificial intelligence is here to stay, and it will continue to revolutionize the way we live for many quarters and many years to come.